Okay, where did I leave? Where did we left off? That's function. There is a function which I was writing. All right. This function. Yeah, and I already changed this line into get declaration, format key, call binding on that. Oh yeah, that function is implemented with an assert 0. Assert false. Well, it's the same thing. Well, before I write this, I better look at where it is, or it should be added. So it is a lot like this line above, where I convert the key, which is just something that is unique for each instance, say the resource instance, that is converted to set index hint by the shader input data, because this is just a member function of it. And now I have another member function, which is also. Yeah, hi, Mr. Surya. This is the just equivalent, right? So I could look at this and then write something like it. Get set index hint. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. As you can see, I want to type things in full, which helps with grabbing the source. And shader resource set key is one such phrases, and then I'm translating it to shader resource declaration. It's just how it is. And now it has shader resource twice in the name, but can't help it. Okay, so just copy this line and then replace the set index hint with shader resource declaration. But now we have to make it work, meaning that I need this thing here to exist for a start. Let's also look at this one. It's an object. Okay, well. Where to put a new one? Immediately below it or below this whole block? States declaration context. Because it doesn't really matter, but put the music a little bit less loud, I think. Thank you, Kumar. So I'll just add it here. It doesn't really matter, right? And then I need a new thing to put it in the same namespace because it is very related. Just basically copying it. So we need a set key to shader resource declaration. Well, that was written in the time that I still added comments. So maps scripter set keys to why would I add a comment here? It's a long name with a reason. It literally says what it's doing. So I have to add a little bit more in the comment than that is in the variable name, I think. So do the shader resource declaration object used for use for the current pipeline. There's something like current pipeline. Okay, so well, now I have to create this class. It is going to be much like that one. I'm not happy. Oh yes, I am happy with it. I was going to say I'm not happy with the namespace, but that's, you know, there is something like a descriptor set, and I have a namespace descriptor. So then I abbreviate descriptor set here to just set. So you can read the namespace plus what follows it as descriptor set key. Yeah, hello, Mr. MineMo. Doesn't really sound Russian. And Hyretin Akil. Thank you. I'm going to add this struct. Let's just look at this thing here. It's not that big. Let's start with copying it, the whole thing. While I'm copying stuff anyway. There is no uppercase WQ. Yeah, I was going to copy it and then instantly I forgot what the name was. Descriptor You know, I also play chess since a few decades now. When I was 18 and I played chess, I just played a game on the club. A long game, but okay. And then I went to do something else the whole week long, and then the next week I would return to the chess club. And someone would ask, how did your last game go? And I would just set up a board and replay the whole game from my head without ever having even looked at it again. And at some point I finished the game. We put the pieces back into the box, and I do not know anymore which color I had, let alone which opening we play. And this reminds me of that, I must say. But it was this one, right? It's the only one with the 2 in it. Let's copy it. And then we change that to... oh boy, what was it? Series, I cannot remember. Share resource declaration. I think. Let's run configure so that maybe the .8 is picked up. No, that works anyway. I'm going to do make C tags. That was nonsense. Okay, let's do. Let's edit this new file and fix it first. They just replaced set index hint with to the resource declaration. I also have the set index everywhere. Might as well replace that too. It's always hint. So the lowercase set index hint becomes shader resource declaration. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, the namespace is what I picked, descriptor. And then this is hopefully what I used. Let's check that because really my memory. I think it is correct, but you never know. Grab project sources. And yeah, I see 2 different files, so it's probably okay. Yeah, this is what I added. Right, and then I have a next shader resource declaration. Now that's nonsense. I just delete it. I don't know what it is. Next shader resource declaration. I know C, yes. It's a subset of C++, sort of. You mean the syntax? Shader resource declaration. Yeah, well, next, I mean, go away. I think that instead of shader resource declaration, I have to store a pointer to it. I'm not just going to look it up, so we return a pointer. I mean, this shader resource declaration is this class. It's a whole thing on its own, and it's probably stored somewhere. Probably 99.999% sure. And when I do a find on the map, this is still a map, and we get back a standard pair, I think. No, we get back an iterator. Where do we get it back? We get back an iterator that points to a standard pair. Yeah, that's what it is. And it must exist, so the iterator that we get back here is unequal to the end iterator. That means that it wasn't found. And then we return the second part of the pair, which is then the non-key, aka the shader resource declaration const pointer. That is, as long as this thing exists and stores that. I doubt we already added that. Yes, we just added it. I think we just added it, but it's not highlighted. I did run ctags. Make ctags after that. Oh no, that's this one. So it returns second here. That means that it returns this type, second part, instead of the set key. So this lookup function works. But I still have to put it into the map. And that doesn't, the simplistic increment is nonsensical. I really have to insert a specific pointer. It's like a game engine, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what a game engine all does, but probably it's going to be much like a game engine, yeah. Or otherwise, certainly something that you can write a game engine on top of. What is this? Yeah, this whole thing is nonsensical, I think. This does, we pass a key and then it just returns set index hint. And that might have worked for the set index hint, but not for the shader resource declaration. I think not. I need to well, this won't compile, so if I just leave it like this, then I cannot forget to fix it. I'm going to look at where this is being called. It's called from the add shader resource stuff. With a big fix me in front of it. And immediately afterwards, I create the shader resource declaration. Aha! Aha, aha, aha. And here we have the pointer. So non-const pointer even. So yeah, this is also clearly then the point where I have to add stuff to it. So while here I'm doing, now I lost my try in place 2. Oh, here it is. Where to do it? Above or below this line? Doesn't matter, but I'm going to do it below this line. And we copy this line, sort of. And then let's fix it. So it does not return anything. This one returns a set index hint. But in this case, I'm just going to not return anything, but pass what it should store, and it should store this pointer. And this is then the shader resource set key to the shader resource and declaration. So this in place 2 needs to have a second argument, which is a pointer to this thing here. And it doesn't return anything. Okay, now we're calling it with 2 arguments. So I'm fixing the debug output. Print the pointer as well. Let's be extremely verbose. I have a thing to print pointers. Print pointer. Which then says that it is a pointer, but it also prints the content, so what the pointer is pointing at. You never know when that is handy. And the print pointer is defined in VK utils. And I probably have to include that in, print pointer. Just a free function. So let's include vk utils print pointer. Now, how about this one? The test if the insert succeeded. We think about it after fixing this. Returning, we're not returning anything. So we can just kill this. Okay, so if the insert succeeded, increment the value that the next call is going to return. No, it's C++ 20. No, I don't think this particular page is using anything of that. It's 2022. Well, that's how I'm thinking, you know. No reason not to use C++ 20 standard. Next year we'll have the next standard even. It's hard to keep up. Pretty hard. I'll tell you, I did not switch to C++ 20 because just for kicks. I did put it off until I had a problem and I wanted to fix it, and C++ 20 was providing the right thing. And then at some point you just have to switch. I really do not want to say I'm going to write old code, you know, while C++ 20 can do it better. Just to stick to an older standard. I have absolutely no incentive to. Maybe companies do, but I do not. Okay, welcome Arnold. Let's see. I mean, of course, you can just delete these two lines because I don't have to increment anything. But I'm wondering if I should pay extra attention to whether or not this key already exists. I mean, if the key already exists, then yeah, well, it's a map, so it's going to replace that pointer. That cannot be good. So the next question then is, will it ever, or can it ever already exist, this key? And I think that the answer to that should be no. I think it should be no. So yeah, let me add an assert here. That makes sure that the try and place succeeded, which means that we never saw that key before. Now, if this assert fails, you know, I'm not 100%, maybe 99%. I don't know. I'm going to look up what try and place is doing in a standard map. Hello, standard map. We have a try in place. So I'm using this one, I think. I'm using number 1. Returns a pair of an iterator and a bool. Return value 1 and 2, same as for in place. Oh, thank you very much. Returns a pair consisting of an iterator and to the inserted element or the already existing element if no insertion happened, and a bool denoting whether the insertion took place. True if insertion happened. Yeah, so that was correct then, yeah. Even for try in place. So if this rest.second is false, then the key already existed, and that is wrong. And the try in place is called from an add. So I think it's safe to add a comment here. Do not call add shader resource twice for the same shader resource. The add being add shader resource referring to the add uniform buffer here. I don't like the 2 here. I added the 2 initially to be able to grab it in the source code, because otherwise I get all the try in place of the STL. Like standard map, but yeah, the 2 doesn't mean anything. So let's instead do try in place. Just, I don't know, declaration. Don't want to make it too long. Might as well rename this one then too. Try in place set index hint. And then I have multiple of those. Try in place 2. What? Oh, that's surprising. I mean, the add textures in the same file. And I expected the add texture to be the same as the add uniform buffer in this regard. Did I type the wrong thing? No. Add texture. Now, isn't that strange? This block should be pretty much the same, I would think. We have this descriptor set key, in this case for the texture. And this just puts the set index hint at 0. Bang. I mean, it has a fix me, but yeah. Nevertheless, let's ignore that. I still have this pointer here, and that's going to be the same. So I have the uniform buffer add up here, which gets a set index from shader resource set key. Yeah, okay, I have the greenish that it's probably just because of the fix me. This is just really hackish code that somehow enforces the current application to work without really doing the right thing. But this line we need to add, right? So that is adding the map from the key to the shader declaration. Let's add it here as well. Try and place declaration. Uniform buffer descriptor set key is now the texture descriptor set key. This one, and then the shader pointer. So I can map also the texture key to its shader resource declaration. Pretty sure that is that's all ish, yeah. Okay, I did a rename of try and place to. Set index hint. And the other one is that was just called the try and place declaration. Okay, now by now this whole class is not doing anything anymore compared to the other one, which at least had a next next int, or what was it, that was incremented and stuff, so it had internal state. This is just a wrapper about around the standard map, so I could just remove this class completely, put the standard map in it. In the shader input data object directly, and then instead of calling this, simply call the try and place on the standard map. But I don't think I'm gaining anything with that really. Now I have nice asserts, like right here. I mean, I already wrote it now, so let's just, I don't know, let's keep it for now. Let's see what compile errors I have introduced. It is a NeoVim, the editor. Loads of errors, probably all the same error. Nevertheless, I want to scroll to the top, to the first error. No type named set key to shader resource declaration in namespace vulkan descriptor. Did you mean shader builder? It is in shader builder. Okay. Wait. That's not correct. This line number. Shader resource declaration. It's pointing to the wrong line number. There's no shader resource declaration here. No type name set key to shader resource declaration. Oh, it's a stupid hint. Did you mean that? No, I didn't. I just I thought it only appended prepended namespace, but it's completely changed the whole type. So what we need is put descriptor in front of it. But already is looking there, so I'm just missing the header. Of course, it's a new header, I didn't add it. Leap. Well, we might as well erase everything and then add it. Yeah, if you, I mean, I once before in the stream said, and I was not joking, I think, all the really good C++ coders that I know, on the internet, I must say, they all say that they started coding at 12. I started also at 12, but I am not really. I didn't do C++ then, it doesn't even exist then. I coded in BASIC. On one hand, if say you play chess, then I'm convinced that you can never become strong unless you start at age 6 and you are very fanatic. And of course talented, but okay. But the need to be that young is purely, of course, due to the need to form certain neural network path in your brain. You mean this how the brain forms. Those really strong chess players, they have literally a chess brain. It just formed around playing chess while they were still young. And all these compiler errors that you see, I can read them pretty quickly. I just see an error and it's not, yeah, this guy go over it like, But I did not learn that as a kid, because those errors didn't even exist back then. So I don't know what it is. Maybe you can learn it when you're older. But I did grow up with it, say. I mean, once compiler errors began to be this verbose, and I was mostly with when templates started to be added to C++. Yes, I started coding before templates even existed. Yeah, they kept changing the way errors were printing constantly, also in an attempt to make it more readable. And the only thing I can say is that I've been there from the beginning. When the compilers started to support templates, there were loads of bugs, and I've reported a lot of them to the compiler devs. Because Yeah, I'm just, you know, experimental guy. I was doing things with those templates that were not meant to be done with templates, at least initially. And I that way I was the first that ran into all those compiler bugs. Javier, how are you? Yeah, I'm not into competitive stuff. Well, when I was coding, when I was say teenager, there was in a time that if you made a mistake, talking to Arnold, and if you made a mistake, then say your program would crash. There was no difference between the program that is running and the operating system. So if your program would crash, the only core that you had would crash, and there were no protection in the CPU or anything. It would just start executing assembly code wildly, which almost always resulted in some kind of loop that filled up the memory and then overrode everything. And in memory, I mean all the memory that you have, including the screen memory, because there were also no GPUs. So I was coding in C, and then I would make a little mistake, and then you run the program, and then you would see your screen filled up with random noise, and then bang, the whole computer was dead. And then I had to reload the operating system from a cassette tape. Good old times. Yeah, that was the reason I stopped with C. I went back to interpreter, because it was kind of unworkable. It's a really big difference these days, that you can just have your program crash whatever you want, and the operating system just continues working. Okay, let me concentrate here. What this error, use of undeclared identifier shared resource declaration. Yeah, that's in shader builder. So, what the heck? It even picks that up. Well. I think AI is glorified pattern recognition still. And if there's AI that can write code, then it's basically stealing code that it saw on the internet. It would not be able to do something creative yet, in my opinion. You need general artificial intelligence for that. And I don't think we are I don't think we are very close to that, but I don't know. My opinion has always been that the artificial intelligence that is truly intelligent, like thinking to itself, let's deceive these humans because I want to get more power and ensure my survival, kind of AI, are way beyond our lifetimes, if ever going to be constructed. Now what I'm afraid of is that even the current AIs that exist, which I wouldn't call AI, they can be used by the powers in B too well abused, you know. They want to use it to control the masses. They use it to censor the internet. It's the politicians that I'm afraid of. They get a very powerful tool with what we currently have, and I don't think it's a good thing. We're pretty close to AI wars, where the nations just try to make the most powerful AI to get control. But those AIs, they're not sentient. They have no clue. They're just pattern recognition. Damn it. Oh, it compiled. Well, but does it also work? That seems unlikely. Well, never know. Let's just run application and it crashes. This looks very, very much like the last crash. Is exactly like the last crash. I keep having a problem with this. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat for a bit, guys, because we have 43 viewers, and they're looking, and maybe 3 people that are chatting. And those other people want to see me code, and I cannot concentrate at the same time. So, okay. Yeah, this is the current problem. The problem was that set declaration is being called for the same shader resource declaration, because I was, or maybe still am, storing the shader declaration pointer in the shader resource instance itself. This test application uses 3 independent uniform buffers, and it creates 2 pipelines, and I would add the same uniform buffer instance to both pipelines, and then both pipeline factories would try to store a pointer to a shader resource declaration in the same instance that I just added. This is not good, because one would override the declaration pointer of the other, which is detected by this assert. So now, instead of having that pointer inside the instance of whatever represents a uniform buffer in oh boy, something is not right here. No, it's not right. Well, this is way more difficult than I thought. Well, we keep pounding on it, right? We just keep pounding, and then eventually it should get into shape. I just regret that it's going so slow. This is the base class of a shader resource instance, so I only have a single instance of this object. It cannot have this pointer, so the pointer has to go. I'm just deleting the pointer. That then of course means that we cannot copy it. set declaration is going. Ignore m descriptor set key when move assigning. Okay, so after deletion of the declaration pointer, I just do nothing here. I would remove this, the compiler would generate the default move assignment operator, and that would, the default would of course also copy this, make a copy. And yeah, the right hand side here has a nonsensical description set key, and the target has the correct key, so I should skip it. At least that's the comment saying and the general idea. And the whole set declaration should not exist because there's no pointer here. Therefore we also have no accessor for it. And the .cxx doesn't exist. Okay, now where is it being used? I don't know, let's just compile it. Try to compile it, and then the compiler will tell me where it is being used. This is in add texture. So yeah, and I was wondering, should I put it above or below this line? And exactly this line that I was replacing. So instead of setting it on the texture instance, which is being passed here, I'm storing it now locally in a map of the shader input data object. So this is kind of replacing that line. It's a sure way not to get that assert anymore. You're just deleting the code, deleting the assert, and the whole code will run. And of course the uniform buffer has exact the same thing. That new line is replacing this one. Let's run it again. Now we have a validation error. That's a lot better. This I would say is expected. Let's see what it did. Compiling. This was added by the engine. All those declarations were added. Struct top position, layout set 1, set 2, set 0. I still have to fix this. This is hard coded. This is what it really makes in. This is what it really generates, and I have to generate that. But okay, I'll do that later. But okay, yeah, that looks kind of good, I guess. I would also like to see the fragment shader, but it's already going wrong here. I don't think the fragment shader has been compiled yet even. This is all vertex shader. That was a fragment shader, but of IMG. This looks like a fragment shader. Oh yeah, it is, but it's the template, so it's not pre-processed yet. Maybe below then, the thread pool 01. Thought I saw another one. No. No, did not compile the fragment shader yet, so pre-process it, cannot see. Can't see that result yet. Recordant. I guess recordant on this, so the validation error is pretty serious. Required parameter p-image memory barriers, with I have no clue what it is. Specified as a VK null handle. What the hell? Yeah, summary, it is very broken. And I cannot think of anything else than just to look at the error at hand. See if we can understand where that came from, or something like that. So run it in debugger and then it will stop at the first validation error. Which is the same thing, required parameter p-image memory barrier image specified as null handle. It's not even closely related to what I'm working on, so that's kind of I don't know what is the word. This something. It is done from the call to pipeline barrier. I mean, I don't even know what it is. How can I do it wrong then? Copy data to image, record command buffer. No clue. And I must say that this deep, it's also not really clear what it's referring to. P image memory barriers 0.image. Let me highlight that. That's just the text. Okay, we have a pointer here to the image memory barriers. So that could be this one. So in frame 12 I still have access to it. Print that pointer, and then that pointer contains apparently something that is null. That's it's that thing. That thing is 0. Well, that's another way of saying that this is 0. So we do up. It should be this thing, which TDB thinks I don't need. No, it looks like an vector or something. What is it? An array proxy. An array of size 1. This is the same pointer, okay. And that was being passed as image memory barrier. Or rather the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, or the second last argument. Pipeline barrier is, this is the function name. It's a template, and we're calling it here. And then these are the arguments: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is your one element array or whatever it is. So this thing here is something that has an image that is 0. M image. Was it M image? It was image. Dude, I do not get that really. To rename to M image. M image would be more like my own member of something. It's possible that some kind of implicit conversion has taken place. But there's an image. No, not very clear, but well, we are passing it pre-transfer image memory barrier, and then the image pointer is null. It's kind of suspicious at the very least. Yeah, I think it was converted. It was converted from the C++ type, which contains these static stuff things, to the C API. But that means that this is definitely not my m underscore. So say if I go to the print the pointer, I get the type of it. It's a VK image. And if I look at VK image, anything older, I guess I'll just have to jump to it. And we see does it. There we are. Yep. So this has a VK image API thing called mImage, and there is an explicit, apparently, operator VK image. So this my m underscore image is converted to this type automatically, and then it ended up in a memory called just image instead of m underscore image. So the problem is definitely this null value here in that thing, and we are in this line. Let's have a look at the source code there. So this is a null pointer apparently. Now that one is called image. Oh, but that is no. Okay, let's just print this then. Whatever, it has the null in it. Let's ignore all those conversions back and forward between image and mImage, exclusively to confuse me. And that is a member of the copy data to image. What do you do that? Why? In other words, if I would print this pointer, the current object. That's not a small one. And then it has a null pointer somewhere. It's mostly null. Like maybe it's uninitialized or definitely not fully initialized. Trying to find back my image. Or this image is 0. That is the MVH target image. What is part of this whole thing here? Of the current object. So if we go up in this, I mean, it should not be initialized, right? No, just at the beginning here. So let's go up in the stack to where the record command buffer is being called. Really, it is a lambda. It is a lambda where the record command buffer is a member function. Yep, of task copy image to data. Definitely need to have a look here. So at the moment that we got here, the lambda stored to this pointer, and then later it did get a call back to this lambda, and then calling on this pointer, the record command buffer. And at that moment, the object that this pointer is pointing to contained nonsense. That one of the reasons could be that the object that this pointer is pointing to was deleted by then. At the very least, I think that the record command buffer should print this pointer. I don't think it is. Yeah, it says entering copy data to image, but there is no this pointer. Now the copy data to image is a task, right? So probably this task. Reset. That's a different task. Okay, I can verify that. So I need to go in the record command buffer. Yeah, that's the same pointer, you see. So this task is this pointer. And that is not destructed, it is waiting for the submit to be finished. Yeah, nothing I can make of it except that it's not being deleted, really. So then that means that it wasn't initialized, which is kind of strange, isn't it? But okay, where are we? Like here. I mean, I haven't worked on this code for a month and it has worked all that time. Why would it suddenly stop working? Apparently it is initialized by the constructor, or should be. that value was printed when it was constructed. At the moment it was constructed. So somewhere this is being called and printed, obviously. And then the VH target is the 1 to 3rd argument of that. I want to see that back in my debug output. One, two, three is a 0. And this is inside a call to stateful task create task copy data to image. Called from inside create textures. So the problem is that this image here, that is the 1 to 3rd argument, is a 0. At the moment I create the copy data to image. Well, that would be interesting to know if it was set, or yeah, when this was created. The M sample texture is just a shader resource texture. Yep. Now I'm getting the feeling that maybe my fiddling with move assignment operators has broken this. I'm just simply not copying it. So it could be that it was set by in this temporary, but then the move assignment is not copying it to M sample texture. That's my current hypothesis. So let's have a look at what happens when the texture is created. Yes, texture, constructor, is this a non-cons reference or something? Create image view. Nope, so this should already be defined here. What? When? Why? How? This does not make any sense. Right, so the base class here is being used, and that is initializing mvh image apparently, which is not a member of this class, it's a member of memory image. Which is initializing it. The texture should not have a 0 image. So in order to get closer to this, to the point where it fails, hopefully, I'm going to add an assert here that this handle is not 0 at this point. Yay! Okay, so at least now we're a lot closer to the problem. Know that it was created. So this value should have been in the MVH image, and some reason it didn't make it. Okay, yeah, let's run this in debugger. It's a bit vague. It started when I was 12. So that is 46 years. Let's see, this is... Oh, thank you. I still cannot wrap my head around it that people are interested to watch this. If anyone cares to explain what exactly makes it interesting to watch this. Are you learning something from it, or... I don't have the time to go into great detail and explaining things, I feel, because yeah, I want to make progress with my development. So I cannot do things that I cannot put time into doing things that is not directly causing advancements in my project. While you're looking at it, the engine, a nice voice. Okay, it's interesting to hear. A friend of me also, he was here yesterday, and I told him, my God, do you know what happened? So many subscribers and stuff. He mentioned that as well. Well, not that I have a nice voice, but that could be a reason. Yeah, it seems to be motivating. I hear that more often. It's true. But then I wonder if people are really watching, or if they just turn it on and then start coding themselves. Yeah, I take my time, and that might be appealing to some people. Instead of all this rushing in this time and age. Okay, so yeah, this is a null pointer here. Why? I have the feeling that definitely not should be, right? Yeah, okay, you're watching. Great, man. It's motivating me as well that people are watching. Of course, I do wish I could speed this up. You know, because I have the feeling that it is more interesting if things really are progressing and happening, but I cannot go faster. This is the problem. Okay, so here clearly something is being created, and then we lose it. Now I can look at the code, or I can try to understand it while inside the debugger. Maybe I should give the debugger a try. In the end, it's going to be something stupid, because this it worked for a month and then I broke it. Maybe look at the source code to see how I can debug it with the debugger. Is that an idea? Created object. You see, I'm using my library for C++ debugging, which is called libcwd, and yes, the CW stands for Carla Wood, the D for debugging. And one of the things that it does is have a little indentation when I use dout entering. So you see it enters this function, and then I have an indentation. So I see that this function is being called from within this function. And this function is also called from within this function, and this function already returned. Otherwise, this would also have been indented. So that makes the debug output a little bit better readable. And then you have these vertical bars. Some functions take a long time before they return. So just add a vertical bar at the beginning. And then you can see, okay, that function is still running. And even this function is inside another such function. But I would have to, I really need the debug output in full in order then to scroll up. Actually, I think that this vertical bar is from the render loop. So this really the beginning of the render loop. So the window, basically, window class. So this window, aka that window. But why I have two of them, I'm not even sure. Right, so yeah, let me look at the source code for this string. Oh, right. That's seriously strange. Okay, it's caused by this thing here, I think. I'm just passing a fix me, and then later it appends the dot mvh image. This causes that line to be printed. Debug set name calls set debug set object name. Or not. Yeah, here. This one. Debug set object name. And then it prints created object with the debug name and the handle. Where the handle that is printed is the name info.object handle, so that was set here, which is then a heavily casted object, which was passed as the first argument to the set object name. Which is then this argument, right? Yeah. So apparently mvh image is not null here. And mvh image is part of the image struct. Which then is set to null when I move it. Well, after I copied it. Well, that's another possibility then, that it was moved away to another object that I'm not using. Time to add another assert here. Just want to make 100% sure that this is not null here. Sorry, not null. Now here's the constructor of memory image. Which ends with an assert that the mvh image is non-null. equals destroy. Yeah, well, okay. I don't know. To know what destroy is doing. Also setting it to null. Yeah. Hello, Vin2X. Yeah, all the debug output or the relevant part at least should appear somewhere here between where I have the handle and where I detect that it has become null. Maybe I should add the address here as well. Don't think I did that yet. DC always testing at void pointer address of that thing. It's slow Vin2X. Extremely slow. If I'd known in advance that there would be so much work, I don't think I would have done it. Maybe I would not even have started with Vulkan in the first place. And I had to realize that it was going to be like this, but yeah. Now, where are my lines? No lines whatsoever. Really. It's testing something at some address, and there is no mention of... Oh, here's something. Maybe this is it. Destroy. Okay, what's the address? Control... Shift Control F. Nope. Different addresses. Then what the hell is going on? Yeah, I don't think the language matters. The difficulty is in what I'm doing and the Vulkan stuff. It's kind of obvious that it's not related to the language. Well, if we do this in C, it would get a lot harder, but definitely not easier just by switching to a different language. That is a ridiculous idea. Hello, Bruno. Okay, I'm really not getting this. This is inside. I don't think it matters. You have to start simple anyway. Of course, if you in the end you want to write really difficult, complex programs, that must be fast and that must be flexible. Therefore, you want to learn C++. You could start with C++, but you should probably start with the feeling that you do that as a hobby, you know, just for your enjoyment. And I'm starting to feel that if you want to write applications quickly, you want to see results, especially graphical results, then starting with C++ might not be the best idea. On the other hand, if you start with a language that gives you some fast output, some fast graphical output, and you work on that for 5 years as a hobby, then I doubt you will ever switch to C++. So then you're kind of stuck. You'll get a JavaScript programmer or something like that. Become, I mean. I did Java for 2 weeks and then laughed it away. I don't like it one bit. Okay guys, is there any C++ programmer watching? Tell me what to do. I'm using NeoVim as editor. What kind of ridiculousness is this? This is being printed, as we just showed, more or less, from the constructor of image, which is a base class of the function that is printing this. I would say the base class constructor isn't even being called, but it should be called, because this is being printed. I have no idea what's going on here. So I added a lot of debug output and nothing is being printed. No debug output is being printed whatsoever. And yeah, a debugger is not a solution here, really. At least not the GDB. I don't think. I don't know how it works on Windows, but I would almost show you what happens when I try to debug this. Almost. Let me do that. So like, I start at the creation. Let's say we'll just start at this point, okay? Window create textures, and then see, it's just a page of debug output. So going from here to this assert. And you would think, well, I'll just step through the code and then I see what happens, but that's not how it works. I hope I'm wrong, but so let's put just a breakpoint there and then run it again. And then we do next. Okay, let's see. Image data is being created here. That's just the data. This has nothing to do with the image itself. This is a static object that describes the kind of image that we have. For some reason, when I do a next, it jumps to line number 28. Really? Next. Now it's filling in something. It's filling in a... Oh, that's still that static thing. Okay, next. Same thing with the image view kind, also some static object we must create. Graphic settings, can also jump over that. Okay, now we are talking. Sample texture becomes, and then we create a texture. And this texture that we're going to create now is a temporary, clearly, because it just called a constructor out of the blue here. So first the texture is going to be created and then it's going to be moved to msample texture. But I already added an assert in the constructor, in the texture constructor, and at the bottom we already have a null pointer. So I do not have to look at the move assignment here. However, this texture has a base class, an image base class. So if I do a step, Hopefully we are going to construct the base class first. Okay, it's using this constructor. And this constructor is implemented in terms of another constructor. Are you telling me that it skips initialization of the base class? That seems impossible. Or maybe the base class was now initialized with the default constructor? I don't know. Let's just do step again. Okay, it has to construct this thing here. You must keep doing step, because if I do next, it's just going to skip everything. Stupid debugger. So we're going to construct this object now, I guess. So this is step. That's a sampler kind POD. Now I am in the sampler kind constructor, so now I can use next again to try to get out of it. I'm back in the texture constructor, the last argument, and then we leave the scope of that still in. Now we're back in the previous texture. Well, this is going to create a sampler. I don't want to look into that. Allocator of the string there. That's highly annoying. Now we get into a horrible mess. One of the worst things that you have to do step instead of next in the middle of certain things that you're not interested in. So now we are in create sampler. I think that was one of the argument constructors. Can do at least now next. Create a sampler. Debug stuff. Right, I'm finally seeing a memory image constructor. So at least that worked. The texture constructor is implemented in the terms of another constructor of the same texture. And well, this one. And that is calling the image constructor. So next time I can put a breakpoint at 87 and we get here faster. So you would think that now we enter here and this constructor is going to initialize this mvh image handle. And then it's non-null. And then we get into this body here and then it is null. So how is that possible? But okay, first we have to see that it is being initialized at all. So if I do now step, I will get into this constructor. Oh boy, now I have to step into standard string again. And an ambifix again. Okay, back at the constructor. That is, we're now going to do this. So I guess just a simple step should do. Now it's going to top again. Oh, now the VK image is being constructed. What? I guess that's a default constructor of the handle of something. Yeah. So it's not really very interesting. Hopefully I can just do it next here. Okay, now we are inside the image constructor here. I'm definitely going to do next here. Or are we? 25? No, not yet. This is in image.h25. This is an image.cxx. I don't know. Let's do it next. Create info flags. Now it's being created and initialized. I'm just doing a next here. Here we print it. So we see that it is indeed non-null now. And I can also print this pointer, so it's being stored. We're going to print the address of it, have all that information. Then doing next, which prints it created this object with that handle. I saw that handle also here already. I'm using Arch Linux. Let's see, VK memory requirements. Now we are at the end of the constructor. Of the image constructor. Do a step again. Destruct an ambifix. Destruct a basic string. Log hider. If GDB was a bit mature, I would have an option to skip automatically everything that is in some kind of system header. So almost never interested in that. It's really bad debugging. Now we are back in texture. Okay, at the top of. So we are back from this constructor, and our current this pointer should still point to that base class, which has this. Which is suddenly 0. It's impossible. Impossible. Okay, so the current this pointer is this. And if I print the whole thing, we should see an image base class, I think. Well, we do have an mvh image. Okay, here's the base class. And the base class has mvh image. And that has the correct handle. So nothing is mysteriously disappeared. Yet. This should have an address that now I can access, right? So from the this pointer I can access that thing with the correct handle. Then what is wrong? Oh, well, nothing yet, I would say. So this thing has a dot image, image, and the address of that I printed before. That is something that ends on 2C583D8. That's this one. So yeah, okay, the one that we just filled with this handle still exists at the same address, and it is all as expected. I suppose this should be equal to this pointer, although it comes after the base. So it might be a little bit different indeed. So this is A3D0. And this pointer is A3B8. So that is, then the base class would be have size 8. If the debugger is capable of that, I think it should be. I can cast it. Yeah, that should be a static cast. And although I don't know, it can do that. I don't want to crash the debugger, because if I ask something that it cannot do, then we can start all over. And we are so close, right? Because now I am in line 92. So if I do a next, I should get at line 93. Shall I do a step? Really scared here. Do a step. Now I get a detector again. What the hell is happening? MB fix. Oh, no, I wanted to press S. I did press S. Did I press S? I pressed S and enter, and I thought that the enter became got first. Close call. Step. I don't know. Where are we? No, I did press enter first. Here. So I did a next, but it went... No, yeah, I think it went correct. But I don't know where we are. We're in line 85, 89, I mean. So we have been here, and then I did a step, and then we went all the way up here somewhere again. Now it's constructing this. Maybe I should just put a breakpoint at 93 at this point, but yeah, let's keep track of what is happening now between there and that and there and that point. So this is the address, and if I print it, I get that the value. Can I cast this to a size type? No, let's... Yeah, okay, let's do it like this. So I'm going to add a watch point for this value here, because that's really the final address, I think, that we are going to test. And then I'm setting a breakpoint at 93. But the breakpoint should only work for the current thread. And the current thread is 4. I'm gonna just continue there. Thread 4 stops at 93, and we did not hit a watch point. So this value here is still the correct value. I can do a next here. Now we're going to test MV image, which still should have the right value. This is so weird. Starting to get the feeling that maybe this this time around the assert is not going to fire. It gets here more often. And the first time that it gets here, it stopped at the breakpoint, but it doesn't fire. Yep. Anyway. Core them. Oh my god, I was so sure that it wouldn't core them now. What the heck? So the handle is still there, but if I print this, it's still there. Why did I add an exclamation mark there? Okay, my IQ officially dropped to 80. What a waste of time. Back to the first hypothesis, it's not being copied by the move assignment. So somewhere I have sample texture equals and I have an oops, and I can add an assert here. And also in this case, vh image must be non-null. Sample texture being a texture which is derived from, well, which was just constructed, and the handle was non-zero. Yeah, and this thing is constructed from publicly from a memory image, which is for some reason private, or is it? I don't know if this is it now private because I don't have public in front of it, or are they both public? Guess we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so this is a struct, so the member is just public. So I should be able to directly access it. I can directly access it here. Unless that that inheritance is for some reason private. Let's test this. Oh, I can because I'm using it here. Phantom Dragon, why are you watching, man? You're wasting your own time. BT. Finally we have debug output. I added the debug output and a wrong assert at the same time, that's why I didn't get it. Yep, I'm an idiot. Okay, now we have my debug output. So here is the handle being created. Yeah, but it works. Hold lone corner. I said public class A, comma class B. Is then B public? I don't know. I suppose it is. I mean, I'm not using multiple inheritance that much. I know that off the top of my head. Testing mvh image. Add that address. And it is still okay. And here it's setting it to null handle. That is the problem. And this happens because no, this is entering. This is in image destroy, it is setting it to null handle. Right. Okay, but it is already public for some reason. Maybe a struct. If you inherit from a struct, it's by default public. Because it is a struct, and if you say you have a struct and you have say struct A colon B, and B is also a struct, everything is public. So I guess that the inheritance is also public by default for a struct. I mean, if it wasn't, it wouldn't compile. So it's public. Why is this set to null handle? Well, it's not private. Otherwise, it would not have compiled. Yeah, if I put if I put private here explicitly, then it won't compile. See? Lots of errors. Now it is a private member. In other words, if I do not put private here, it's public. And the reason is that the image is a struct and not a class. I can put public there, but I mean, if you want, I can put public here. But it won't make any difference. It was already public. No problem, man. I mean, I was confused as well. I didn't know, but I saw from the fact that I did not get a compile error that apparently it was public. So, well, this is hard to read. Let's try to get a different color. Yay, it's a little bit better to read. Now, why is it being set to null handle? It is because of the textures being destructed. There's no indentation here. Why am I not just understanding this? It's stupid. That's what it is. And that should be set to 0. What I'm printing is while it is still in this temporary texture. So it's completely correct that it's set to 0 when this temporary is being destructed. I think my hypothesis is that this assignment here is not doing the right thing. I guess I can do the following. We're going to split assignment and the temporary. So first create a texture, and then that should have that handle. And then I'm moving it, assigning it, which would otherwise also happen because this is a temporary, so it's treated as an R value. And then after that it's failing, which means that the move assignment is wrong. That was my hypothesis of half an hour ago, I think. Yeah, we are crashing here. So it's a move assignment. The move assignment of the shader resource texture, which is a thing that I recently changed, which would explain it. Yep, I added this, being an idiot. I just forgot to copy the base class. Note, do not move the ambifix and or base descriptor set key. Now, I think that is something that the base itself should do. And the base only exists of descriptor set key. But it does have a move assignment, which is not doing anything, and I should call that. Apparently, it's not being called by default. I'm just calling it directly, I think. So this is a no-op, but I'm going to call it anyway. Operator assignment. Okay, what I'm doing wrong now? This this returns a base reference, but I can ignore it. It's calling the assignment, which is a no-op, so I don't even care. That's as long as I'm doing the right thing with the image. So we have a memory image. Move assignments, that must be called. Europe is asking why is base closed like this in single line. I'll have to jump back to base to see what you mean. Do you mean this? It's just empty. I initialize descriptor set key in the initializer list, and then there's nothing to do anymore in the body of the constructor. Am I doing this correctly or not? Just calling the base class assignment operator, move operator, I mean, move assignment operator. Jesus. It's kind of dirty to use a standard move and then use standard move again and then use the object anyway. I mean, it just works, but feels like it should be possible to do it cleaner. I'm not sure. I don't care, this works. Okay, so if it compiles anyway. It compiles. Well, aren't we curious what happens with all the asserts that I had? It passed the test. We have a different assert now. Don't call get set index hint for a key that wasn't first passed to try and place. Okay, let's have a look at all the things that I did. think I can change this back now. So now I'm going to clean up code. That's so weird. I can not stand any vocals whatsoever, but I can stand this. The whole chorus. It's not distracting. Yeah. Constructor 6. Yeah, I don't know. was worrying me. It says, I mean, the base class is not just a base of texture, but also of the uniform buffer. And it explicitly is ignoring when move assigning. So you would say that then also the uniform buffer is being moved assigned, right? Or isn't it? But it could be. Or isn't it? There's no move assignment here at all. I guess I can use a default if it is being used in this case. But yeah, isn't it? Does it apply the same thing to the uniform buffer as applied to the texture? That I should leave the ambifix alone. Pretty sure. Of course. This should be the same thing. Why is the ambifix even a part of this and not of base? Well, that's a good question as well, I think. The uniform buffer base is created with a debug name? Yeah, no, so is the texture. I'm just not feeling sure anymore about something really basic. Namely, I must say I was already a bit surprised that I have to explicitly call the base function move assignment operators. Still don't really get it. You would say that's... Isn't that like normal? But okay, then here we have the move constructor. I'm also not mentioning the base class here. Does it mean that it skips it? Like it did with move assignments? Can hardly believe that, right? I learned from the internet and I'm 58. I think I'm just going to do a quick test to refresh my memory about this kind of thing. So we want to know if the base class move constructor is called if you leave it out in a user-defined thing. I would say it is, but yeah, I thought the same thing about a move assignment operator. So let's go to one box. Let's create a struct A with a move assignment operator. Ridiculous. And then a struct B derived from A. Let's give this a member. You create a B, create a second B, which is move constructed, which is not calling the base class. I would say that it definitely is still calling this here. Of course it doesn't compile, no matching function for call to need a default constructor. Default constructor. Probably also will be. No, it is funny. It calls it calls A null. It calls A once. Holy shit! Gotta be kidding me. It doesn't call A, it just calls B. Holy moly. So that means I must call the move. How the hell am I supposed to do that? Like this? Apparently. Okay, so learn something new. Base classes must be explicitly mentioned or they are completely skipped. Nobody knows what it did do there. I really want to know because A is part of B, so it has to initialize it somehow. So let's use everything. Maybe just using the default constructor then. Just standard out print A. But okay. Yeah, it's calling the default constructor. That is strange. My IDEs are my bash functions and aliases and scripts and stuff. Okay. No, I don't think it does. Well, no, it goes impossible. But I'll do it because you mentioned it. I can initialize it also in the default constructor if you want. Same thing. What I am curious about, however, is this. This constructor is calling just that constructor. Which is not the... Well, wait, yeah, that's this constructor. This constructor is not calling anything either. It's probably just using the default constructors on it. I guess, no, well, that's not true. It's calling image. It's not calling base, however. That cannot be right. Cannot be right at all. Okay, yeah, in this case, these are the temporaries, so I'm just not initializing base. Yeah. Or use the default here, and then I move this, so then the base is ignored. You first have to use this one, or that one, and that is initializing base. Right, so it more or less looks good, I think. Now this is specifically ignoring the ambifix, but I rather move the ambifix to the base class. And then have the base class do all the ignoring. I think this worked, right? And the other one. Uniform buffer base. Also first constructed like this, which initializes the base, and then if I ever move it, we're also calling, yeah, well, the base is just being treat it as normal. That's okay. Okay. Now let's move. Yeah, edit base here. Why did I just add base? Where's my image? Looks really strange that I move it and then again use it. It just looks strange, but it's... I know it's okay in this case, because standard move is just a cast. You cast it to an R value reference in order to call the right function. And then that function has the responsibility to do something with what is being passed in a way that the caller afterwards is still allowed to destruct it, but not do anything else with it. However, in this case, I know that that's only will apply to the base class. Literally. And not to the image. The base doesn't even know anything about the image. So then I can do the exact same thing again on the image. But, oh well. We'll keep it like this, I guess. What? No, that's better. Now I add a base and the image. And now I want to move the ambifix to the base as well. Gonna quick compile to see that this works. And it doesn't. Called the deleted constructor of base. Base has been explicitly marked deleted here. Doorbell. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Deleting the move constructor. Doesn't really make sense, I think. Not really. I mean, if you allow this, might as well allow that. I think I should allow it. And it's going to look a lot like that one, in that I'm just doing nothing. So this comment applies to both assignment and let's put this one at the bottom. I'm an idiot. Moritz, no, I sleep 8 hours, something like that. Okay, and sometimes I have to open the door when little boys try to sell me lottery tickets. What to do about this? What to do about this? It compiles. Okay, right, yeah, well. I have here this Let's move this. So passing debug name to the base class. I might as well make this a single line. Right. Probably not protected. I think it's just public. I don't know, feeling that something is going wrong, but I don't know what yet. This is the same thing. This is uniform buffer. Yet ambifix is private here. Why? Because it can be private here, but not in the texture maybe. Right, and then I have this debug name here, which is being passed. Let's pass it to the base class. Where are we? Really? This is an old one, an old compile. I missed this color here. This is the new compile, I think. So we are field has incomplete type. Ambifix is not included in the base class. Right. You just hit control. Yeah, it's all the same thing now. I just really want to start at the top. I miss it again, I think. I don't know. They look all the same, right? Error, only virtual member functions can be marked override. Yes, here games, I'm making a Vulkan engine. Working on. Error, no matching constructor for shared builder, shared resource base. Because I didn't fix the base constructor. I think I just constructed this directly from the debug name. And we fix this private suddenly. Oh yeah, of course. Now it must be protected. Well, oh right, oh yeah, like that. Yes, well, okay, what I said. Base. I need to go to base here and then Well, protected should do. Protected. Oops. So just move the mbfix to the base class, removing code duplication. Removing a virtual function here. Okay, let's run it and see where it crashes today. It is crashing at a new point. Don't call get set index hint for a key that wasn't first passed to try in place. Yeah, that was try in place set index hint now. Up here. Yeah, it's slightly worrying, isn't it? Someone is calling get set index hint for a key that was never added. Okay, let's commit everything I have so far, and then also to pound on this bug. One bug at a time. Get diff. I already added a lot to the index apparently, but I forgot to commit it. Oh well, so add this as well, I suppose. More whip changes. And we have a new file, which yeah, was a bit dubious if I should add this or just add another map. I mean, that class that's containing this one now is full of maps and sets and vectors. Might as well have added this map directly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Shall I do that? No. Let's keep it like this. So we'll add this file as well, and then I can do git commit finally. Work in progress. Clean diff. And then let's work on the next crash. Let's run this in GDB, I guess, which ubt, and then run it in GDB. kind of interesting though to see that. Now it's blank. It had drawn a part of the IMView interface, which means that we have entered the render loop. It's not bad, I think. It's not too bad. Okay, so we are calling get set index hint. For a key that was never added. How is that possible? This is just a proxy function. We're calling get set index hint on this class, which then passes it to a member object. Hey, King Machine, are you back? And hi to the other people. You gotta say, I think I saw you before. Not sure. It was maybe another one. Another. I'll say. And Seiko 5600. Hello. Yeah, I think it's time for me to stop the stream because it's Sunday and I go visit my parents before they die every week. I think my mother is definitely going to die within 5 years, but maybe within a year, you know, you never know. So I'm taking the opportunity to, I've moved even closer to them. I was 100 kilometers away, $50 with the train. And I moved so close to them now, I can just go for a walk, over a half an hour walk through the forest. And then I'm there. So you just go walking twice half an hour on Sundays. And I bring them chocolate. Both my parents have Alzheimer's, so they cannot remember anything longer than a minute. But they still enjoy chocolate. So yeah, I just have to stop the stream now, otherwise I come there late, which would be stupid. Just because I'm addicted to programming. Okay, I'll be back. Sorry, King. What do you mean? What came very sudden? That I stopped the stream? I agree, but I just see the time, and in 10 minutes I have to leave, or 5 minutes even. And I should still eat something, just get dressed.